Hey guys, it's Mel. Welcome back to my channel. Well, I've got some news for you today because I've just come back from Sydney from an eBay conference. So that means I got to go and speak to the managing director of eBay Australia. I got to talk to other eBay employees. I got to talk to a whole lot of members that are on an eBay seller panel that I didn't even know existed. 18 months ago, they created a group of other resellers within Australia. And what these resellers do is they're listening. So they're watching our YouTube videos, they're part of the Facebook groups, they're listening to all the things that the sellers are complaining about or having problems with. Then they go back and they meet once a week, and then they take back what they've talked about to eBay and let them know the problems that the reselling community is actually facing. So I'm really pleased to hear that something like this actually exists. We now know we've got some advocates in our corner who are talking to eBay and really listening to the things that, we're saying and that we want. So the information I'm about to tell you has come straight from eBay employees. So obviously the biggest question with any reseller is, how do I get more sales? So they talked a lot about listing optimization and how we can improve our listings to be able to make sure they get pushed higher in search and how we can actually get them to convert to more sales. So the first thing you need is a really strong listing title. And what you got to do is you got to put the most important things at the front, and then you got to fill the back end of the title with your extra keywords. So I've got an eBay title structure chart here that I got from eBay itself. So I'm going to put it here now so you can screen share it and save it for reference so that you're learning how to write the perfect title for your eBay listings. Now, they suggested to use 65 characters or more within a title, and they said that those listings that have 65 characters or more are 2.1 times more likely to sell. So it shows how important it is to fill that title up with the appropriate keywords to your listing. So he really emphasized to state clearly what the item is in the title, but then to repeat it with the same category. So make sure you are listing your items within the right category that is relevant to the item you are listing. Now, when it comes to those pesky recommended item specifics, he said only fill in the ones that are relevant to the item you're actually listing. He said if it's not relevant to your listing, do not fill it in. Do not put unknown. Do not put NA. Do not keep trying to fill in your item specifics just to get that little blue spinny wheel to fill up. That is not the point of it. So a really good example for this was for the shoe category. Now, he said one of the item specifics is for heel height. Now, he said not all shoes have a heel height and not all shoes need that to be put in. If you're selling runners, you don't need to put in the heel height. But if you're selling ladies' high heels, then it's really appropriate to put in the heel height because some of this high, some of this high, and some of this high. So just put in the ones that are actually relevant to your particular item that you're selling. It might be a little bit more generalized because it's for a full category, like shoes. So many different types of shoes that fit under one shoe category. But if it's not relevant to the actual type of shoe that you're listing, leave it. Now, another great tip that the eBay employee had was to make sure you don't use too much technical language. He said, think like you are a buyer. Use keywords that you think a buyer would search for. Now, they said to make sure the information is accurate and not misleading. And they said wherever possible, make sure you're adding product identifiers, even if they're not required. Now, if you're not sure what a product identifier is, that means something like the brand or the manufacturer part number, which they shorten to MPN. It's the universal product code, which is nicknamed UPC, or the International Standard Book Numbers, ISBN-S. Now, if you use these, they said it increases your visibility in eBay search and also in the navigation tools down the left-hand side, which some people use for searching as well. And it also said it increases your chance of having your listing shown in Google and other search engines. Now, what's interesting is he said the product identifiers are used mostly in the categories fashion, home and garden, vehicles, and electronics. But he also said they used a lot on the mobile app, and they said 64% of the eBay sales that come through are via the mobile app. Now, he said to use as many photos as you can, but he said those listings that have 3 photos or more experience an 8% increase in sales conversion. Don't use any text or borders overlaying on any of your images. And they did say that they prefer a white or a plain background, and they said that the white background is best for the Google search engines. If you do want to learn a little bit more about the Google algorithm and how it works with your external views coming from eBay, I've got an older video on that. I'm going to link it up here at the top, here or here. And if you want to go back and watch that, like, it's a pretty good video where I explain how that Google search engine algorithm works. Now, if you've been thinking about offering free returns, then maybe this little data stat that I'm about to tell you will help change your mind. Now, basically what you can do is you can offer a listing that's got 30 days free returns or 30 days buyer pays returns. And what they said is the listings that are offering free returns are getting an 82% higher chance of selling than the ones that are offering buyer paid returns. Now, offering free returns is something that I implemented in my business a few months ago, and I'll just have to say it hasn't caused any extra returns. I think that's something that people worry about. As soon as you turn it on, they think everybody's going to send everything back. It doesn't happen like that. I've only had one return since I turned it on. The other thing that I found really great by offering free returns is if there's a buyer that leaves you a neutral or a negative feedback for something, most of the time eBay is going to side with you if you offer free returns, because there's no reason for a customer really to complain if they've got the option to send it back to you for free. Like, they've got nothing to lose. So really, I think that free returns is something that everybody should be offering, in my personal opinion. And obviously, looking at the data stats that eBay just gave us, I think it's a win-win. Now, they said buyers are looking for that fast and free postage, and they said items that are listed with free postage are selling 70% more frequently than the listings that are offered with postage. So that is absolutely crazy. If you're one of these people that has your price plus postage, maybe it's worth doing a little bit of experimentation in your store and seeing that if you try and combine that postage into one flat rate postage, I mean, nothing is free. We incorporate it into those prices, but maybe experiment with it and see if it gets your listing sold a little bit higher by having a free postage store. I know that my books are nearly all listed with free postage, and I have a pretty good sell with my books. Now, the eBay employee did say how important it is to have a fast handling time with your shipping. And they did say that if you have a 0 to 1 day handling time, you can expect to have a 9% increase in your sales. They mentioned how important it is to price yourself appropriately, and they recommended using the search tab and also using the Terapeak and building yourself a sales history within your seller hub with your own metrics to really learn how to price your items correctly. Now, they talked about all the tools that you can use to utilize increasing your sales, running promotions, running coupons, offering sales, offering order volume discounts, sending newsletters. All of those things are so important, and they encouraged you to be using all of them and trying different ones and seeing which ones work best for your store, because all of those things do increase your sales. Now, I also asked them about the store video, and I said I'd really like to see some data analytics on this store video. Is it converting to sales? Are people actually coming to our eBay storefronts, clicking on these videos? And what they said is coming in 2023, definitely in America, hopefully in Australia and UK, they're definitely bringing in more seller analytics that is going to be for your store, telling you about those people that are coming in, looking at the video and all that kind of data. So they are working on that stuff. It's coming in slowly, but rest assured, I think within another year, we're going to be able to see all those data analytics of these things that they're implementing into our stores. Get going on those things if you haven't already started. Start making your eBay storefront look nice with your videos and your banners. And if you don't know how to make an eBay store video, I've got a couple of videos on it here. I'll link them down below in the comments so that if you want to learn how to do that, I can show you. But really look at utilizing all these tools, because eBay really is giving them to us for a reason. Now, I'd really like to talk to you more in depth about the coupons and running the sales and utilizing all these marketing tools, but it is a big subject. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make it into a separate video in the next couple of days, and I'm going to go through what they told me about that in a separate video. So stay tuned if you want to learn more about marketing your store the best way. So I hope they gave you some tips and tricks on how to increase your sales and how to increase your listing optimization straight from the eBay employee's mouth. I will say that the impression I get is the things that they recommend really do seem to benefit their sellers. Like when they say offer free returns, and we sit there and think, oh gosh, free returns, all that's going to do is have all these people sending things back to me. It doesn't actually happen like that. And they've got the data stats there that really show the difference between the sellers that offer it and the sellers that don't. Just like the free postage, the sellers that offer it and the sellers that don't, or the sellers that have the shorter handling time, there's a noticeable difference within their sales. So I just think the moral is whatever they kind of suggest that we do, we do. They don't suggest it for a reason. I'm pretty sure if something wasn't working, if they weren't seeing the analytics for this, they wouldn't actually push us to do it. So I really encourage you to look at those kind of things. Are you offering and doing all the things that eBay are suggesting for you, the things that they're giving you the tools to use? Just try and do your best. But yeah, really optimize those listing guys, great titles, great photos, and offer all the things that you can possibly do while still making yourself a profit. Don't forget, guys, you still got to make yourself a profit. You just got to work around what's good for your store. Do some experimentation in your store. I know that I've been doing it. I've been testing out my coupon percentage of sales that I offer, and I'm actually finding that I get a higher hit rate if I offer a 20% sale than a 40% sale. Go figure. But the only reason I can know that is because I've been running tests and I've been looking and I've been running them over weekends and weeks and trying to get some analytics and trying to build my own search history for my personal store. Because what works for me might not work for you. So you've got to put in the work. You've got to do these tests and experimentation and try different amounts and see what promotions are going to work for your store. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. I got more stuff coming over the next couple of weeks about this eBay conference, and yeah, stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See ya.